Charlotte. Hi, Denise.
Hello.
Hello.
I would like, as soon as Rachel comes on, I would like to, she's not a part of the committee, but she's in charge of this whole art in the Arboretum. So she would like to be the first item on the agenda. So I will move her forward as soon as she comes on to us, okay? We are still 3 minutes before starting time. Did everybody get an agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So before Rachel gets here, why don't we talk about the minutes of the March the 21st meeting? Everybody has a copy of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, John. Do I hear a second? I'll second.
Okay. I actually found one error.
Okay. What is it, Denise?
Well, it's just in the treasurer's report. I mistransposed Charlotte's report for the budgeted account as 3299. In the minutes I sent, it's actually 3199.
Okay.
So apologies, Charlotte. I'll amend that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other things to change?
I guess I left all that stuff.
Okay. Then I'll change the motion to accepting the minutes with the change in the numbers. Is that okay, John?
That's fine.
Okay, I'll second that also. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, great. Okay, done that. I don't see any community participation. I'm assuming we having none. Somebody come in yet? No, not yet. Oh yes, Rachel's in the waiting room. Great. And Denise, your iPhone is in the waiting room. I think I tried to connect. Rachel, you're muted. Hi, Rachel, you're muted.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
No, you're not.
Okay, Rachel, this is John and Charlotte Davis. I don't think you've met them in business before. They're the new committee members. And Rachel is our old committee member who had to leave because she left Woodstock, but she's the art teacher at Woodstock Academy and is sort of the big cheese as far as this art in the Arboretum goes. So do you want to bring us up to date, Rachel, as to where we stand as far as this goes? I'm boosting you up to the front of the agenda so that you can leave when you feel like it.
Perfect. Yeah, so I have mentioned this to my students so far, and they are interested. I haven't gotten a whole lot of commitment, but the poor kids, I mean, I think they're feeling kind of like I am right now, that we're all stretched pretty thin. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities for kids this time of year, and not a lot of them come with in terms of volunteering and stuff like that. So and a lot of them work and things like that. So I'm going to continue to try to boost this in terms of student participation, both in terms of volunteers and participants. So hoping to get that together. I didn't bother kind of giving them too much information much before break, because if they're anything like me, they've already forgotten everything that happened a week ago. So yeah, I mean, I think we have the flyer, and I will share that with students as well, and anything else that I can do. I have 3 students that have said they're very interested in making and submitting art. So that's a start.
Have you sent that flyer to the schools that we're interested in contacting, like Rectory and Pomfret and Woodstock Middle School?
So I have not sent them to the school at large. I reached out to some of the art teachers and I got a response from one.
Who did you get a response from?
Brooklyn.
Okay, but nothing from the art teacher at Pomfret?
Nothing from Pomfret, nothing from Woodstock, nothing from Union.
Okay, could you send me the names of those art teachers, Rachel? Because I think that it's not fair to ask you to do it, and I think we should take that on to reach out in some way and follow up with you.
Yeah, I'll try to see. And I reached out to them about my own art honor society students. So I'll get those names. I'm just looking to see if I can find them quickly. But I'll get those names. I had to go to like each website and try to find them. But I should have that.
Yeah, I just think it would save us having to go ahead and do that again. If you already have them listed.
Yeah,
Right.
Right back.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, I don't know if it's just like the season for emails and they don't get that, and maybe it's better to send it to them or go through like the secretaries at the schools.
I'm wondering if we got it sent to the town, the flyer to the town hall, if they would print it up in color for us, and then we can go around to the schools and put it up on their notice boards or something, you know?
Yeah,
I know that Woodstock Middle School had like the morning announcements that they make. This would be something that given to whoever makes the morning announcements, they could say, and we could have announced this every other day, you know, something like that to
Right.
get the juice going.
right, yeah,
And the only correction that I would make to that flyer was that the art should be handed in between 1 and 4 on that day. The selectman's office is ready to receive it between 1 and 4 on that day.
okay.
15, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on that flyer, so.
I thought we would tell the kids, the actual kids who show up on the 6th, we will tell them directly what to
Yeah.
do with their artwork.
We could even make a handout with that information, a smaller one or
Perfect.
something.
That would be perfect. Yeah, okay.
And is there anything like, so I'm gonna try to get some students I'm trying to get students to participate, but then also students to volunteer if needed. I don't know if like they're bringing water to people or if you need volunteers or just people to participate.
I don't think we need volunteers. As far as I know, both Denise and I are baking, and
Okay.
John and Charlotte are buying some packets of granola and stuff. So there will be snacks available that people can help themselves to.
Okay,
Our thinking is that nobody's going to come for that whole day.
right.
They'll come for a couple of hours, so there'll be water there, there'll be snacks there, and then they'll go and have lunch. They'll bring their own lunch if they're staying longer, or they'll go off and buy lunch or whatever. So I
Yeah.
really do think there's a lot for volunteers to do. You
Yeah.
know, it was our very first festival, we even hired a town constable to park. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
That was not necessary. So I don't know, what does everybody else think? Do you think we need volunteers, John and Charlotte, Denise?
I don't think so.
No,
And
Yeah.
I'm planning to be there at the start of the day. I do have a bridal shower I have to go to, I think at 2 in Eastford. So I'll be there at the beginning. I'll have to leave by, I think it's 1 or something.
Oh, that's lovely, thank you. And I know Sarah says that there are kids taking tests in the morning at the academy. So I
Okay.
think she's coming in the afternoon.
Perfect.
I'm going to be there in the morning and probably back again in the afternoon. Denise is going to be in the morning, and John and Charlotte are going to be there in the afternoon. So we're kind of, you know, spreading it out a bit.
Perfect.
I got an email from Sarah saying she had asked Gary O to get on Winnie Radio, but she's not sure if she's getting there. I am just concerned about getting this word out and getting more middle and high school students to come. So I throw it out to anybody got ideas of what we should be doing here?
I mean, I think making a Facebook event would be helpful, not necessarily for those kids, because the kids are not on Facebook, but for their parents. Like at loose with our gallery events, that's how people find out. When
How do
people
you
come
make a
in.
Facebook event, Rachel?
You should be able to do it through the Palmer Arboretum group. So whoever's in charge of that should be able to create an event through that.
That's a town website. I mean, we don't have an independent website.
Oh,
We
I
have to go
thought,
through the town. I don't think we do.
Sarah was sharing stuff on there.
I think she has to go through the town, and we can ask her when she comes on. Denise, with when you went and gave those photos to Crystal, did she say we had our own website?
she didn't. She
There
was
is
the
a page.
contact.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, there is a Palmer Arboretum page, and we made an event for the show that we did last year.
On the town website?
It's not on the town website, it's on Facebook.
Oh, okay. So you, if we go on Facebook and look for Palmer Arboretum, it's a page.
Mhm.
That may be managed by the town as well.
I thought Sarah was the one doing it, but maybe
Well,
not.
check with Sarah then.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
will check it with Sarah, Facebook event page.
because we posted our events for our Celebrate Spring on there. The show we did in the summer, pictures from the opening.
Okay. Well, I will check with Sarah then. Thank you, Rachel. I will ask her.
That should help. Again, the schools. I will send the flyer to the moms group in Woodstock.
Well, that would be great. Although the moms group, it tends to be younger kids, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we might get some people to see there, or they might know people.
Okay.
Maybe the complex in Putnam, they have art classes. I'm trying to think of like where the kids in this area go for art classes.
Okay, that's a good idea. Complex.
There is a Facebook page. If you go to Facebook and search for Palmer Arboretum, it comes up. And it's the town of Woodstock managing it, because the pictures that Denise took that she sent Crystal are already on the Facebook page.
Oh, great. So, can you send that flyer to Crystal, Rachel?
Sure, yep.
Crystal Adams at the town hall, and ask her to
Yeah.
put it on the Facebook page? Thank you, John. That's very helpful.
Rachel, if you like, I got Crystal's email and also her cell number to text or email her things. I had a hard time finding it on the town's webpage. I can send it to you if that would be helpful.
Let me double check. I have emailed her before, so it might
Okay.
be saved, but yep, I do have her email. Thank you.
Okay, good.
I know it is hard to find it on the website.
Oh, great. Yeah, that complex in Putnam is a terrific idea.
Yeah, and I'm happy to reach out. It's my soon-to-be sister-in-law who's the manager, and then
Great to have
No.
connections. Huh?
yeah.
How was your mother's wedding?
It was a horrible, horrible day. It was the worst weather I think we have had in a very long time. It was absolutely freezing.
Oh dear.
But she's happy.
Well, that's good. They say happy the bride that the rain falls on. So if it was a terrible day, she should be wonderfully happy.
Yes, she borrowed my cute umbrella, so.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we haven't even thought about what was going to happen if it rained on May the 6th. We don't have
Maybe a
we
rain
don't have
date
a
just so the
follow-up
next
rain
day.
date, so we'll just keep our
something.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Anything else that anybody can think of that we should talk about for this event? I have the banners. I don't, let me see if I can run it by you. Hang on. Here we go.
Cute.
Nice.
That's neat.
Yeah.
And that's the new one. And they did a beautiful job changing the date on the old one. So if you remember, Rachel, we did it with white masking
Great.
tape and gummed on letters. They changed it all officially, and they said they can do that for us every time. So if we need
Perfect.
to keep on doing it, we can, which is terrific.
Yeah, that's easy.
And I will put those up, probably in another week, or maybe next week. I'll put them up, and they'll be right there so people can see them as they drive by, which will help a
Perfect.
little bit.
I think it might be good to print some of the flyers, maybe, and put them at, I don't know if the town post offices at least or something. I know when I would get my mail from the PO box, I would always look at whatever's on those boards. I'm trying to think of other places like that where people naturally gather.
Okay.
The libraries.
Sweet Ems.
Libraries,
Yeah.
libraries, for sure.
Yeah, maybe down where the kids, the academy kids park their car down at Rondo's garage. Yeah, we can put it up on his door. I just keep wanting to hit the kids, I want them to be excited, and make sure you tell them, Rachel, that there's a financial money prizes,
Right.
Big dollar signs.
Incentive.
And your class will be able to hang whatever art we get,
Yep.
right? Excellent.
Yep. They're excited.
That's great. Yeah, Anthony from Pomfret School, who brings students down to work. He's the media kind of they do that kind of art. So he's going to come down with his sketchbook, he thinks, and do some
Nice.
sketching down there, which is nice.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
okay. Any other questions for Rachel, who's being a super girl, not on the committee, but just doing a great job with it. I really appreciate that. Denise, anything else about the,
Not that I can think of.
okay. John and Charlotte, anything else?
No,
I had wondered if we ought to have some activity for younger kids, if families came with older children who were going to be doing artwork, whether we wanted to have the supplies to paint the rocks.
Or they liked, I mean, if we have all that stuff, I think I still have some of that at my house. I have a bunch of those supplies, or we do that scavenger hunt again. They always like that.
I could bring scavenger, and I have the rocks because you bought the bag of rocks.
Yep.
But I thought Jessie took the paint. Did you take the paint?
I think I might have the paint. I'll check.
Okay, because we could just have that stuff there in case there are younger kids who can't compete in the art show, but would want to do something fun.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Rachel. Bless your
Awesome.
cotton socks. Thank you very much.
Got my to-do list. Thank
Got
you
your-
all.
Okay, let me know how it goes. Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye.
Okay, back to our agenda. Sarah said that she had a meeting until 3 o'clock, but it's to do with the senior essay. And they've got about 20 students who have not completed that senior essay, which they need to do to graduate. So she might be hanging out a little bit longer. But our next item then would be treasurer's report.
the treasurer's report went out, so you all should have gotten a copy.
Yes.
And if you notice, it's exactly the same as last month's.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
didn't get the invoice from Diane until a few minutes ago. for your
Right.
Reimbursement.
I only took it in today.
Oh, okay, that's
Okay,
why.
that was for the banner that I just showed you
Right,
and the bag of fertilizer.
yep,
I also stopped by the nursery and I've tagged the Alaskan cedar, which we have a really nice one, and they're looking for the Quercus bicolor, that oak that Julian Reese had recommended. And
Mhm.
I think that the money that we have left on that gift certificate that we bought ourselves will cover the cost of both of those.
well, that's good.
The Alaskan cedar was about $190 or $180, and the Quercus will be more expensive, but we've got $400 and something in that account, which should cover those two trees. And hopefully, Paul said he'll try and get the oak tree there for that April the 27th, so that Julian, who is supposed to come, can help plant them. But that should not be any bill coming into you because we should be able to cover it.
Okay,
I did sign and send out the contract for the lawn mowing.
Mhm.
But I haven't, we're going to talk about Julian's contract. I have not signed that one yet, but the lawn mowing should be starting. And I put in a note saying grass is growing. So that, and I also let him know that we wanted to be looking really beautiful by May the 6th. So hopefully they will take care of that.
very good,
Otherwise, I don't think we have any other expenses coming in at the moment.
okay.
Okay, moving on to then that Julian, the new summary that he gave us, the new report. Everybody had a chance to look at it.
Mhm.
It was very similar to the one before, except I noticed that he left out taking care of that hemlock, which is sort of the doomed hemlock.
Mhm.
So that brought the price down from $657 to $615. He also added some changes on the arborist notes. He increased his notes on the changes. And then he included that natural pruning work. Anybody got some thoughts about this other report?
Mhm.
Does it seem reasonable, unreasonable?
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. So I have to sign it and date it and send it back. Everything okay if I sign and date it and send it back?
Yes.
Yes.
yep.
Great. I think he fully understands what's happening. Oh, here comes Sarah. Okay. I'm hoping he will come to, hi, Sarah. Hello, Sarah. You're just connecting to audio. I'm still hoping that he will come on that 27th. I'm sure he can't come for the whole day, but I'd really like him to be there when we're planting those trees. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're in. Did you manage to get all the seniors to write their essays?
Not doubtful. Very doubtful.
Okay. Rachel was here, Sarah, earlier, and she left. But she had some good ideas of groups to get information to. And
Okay.
apparently we do have a Facebook page. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Look,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. There is a Facebook page that belongs to the Arboretum, and we'd like to put the flyer on that Facebook page. Is that something that you do, or is it something we send to the town hall for Crystal to do?
I can put it up. I'll put it up today.
Great. Okay, thank you. You have a copy of the flyer?
Yep.
Great. Okay, thank you. And did you get anything back from Gary O about winning or not?
Nothing.
Still not. Okay. Okay, so we were just talking about Julian's second report, and people felt it was pretty good and we should sign it and have him do the stuff he says he's going to do. Would you agree?
Okay. Yes.
So I will go ahead and do that. And I will try and talk with him about actually being there on the 27th. I
Okay.
heard from Erin from Pomfret School, and she said that there will be 10 to 12 kids and 3 teachers coming that day. And they could arrive either at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. What is people's pleasure?
On the 27th of April, on the Thursday?
It's their whole day. It's a whole day of service. They're going to be there until 2:30 in the afternoon, bringing their lunch.
Okay.
I
I mean,
I think 10 would be plenty of time. Given our experience of them at the work days and their energy and focus.
I
Yeah.
would agree.
Yeah.
You know what? I liked your idea, Denise, that we should ask them to hand in their cell phones when they arrive, and that every hour they can get a 5-minute cell phone break
Right.
as to kind of motivate them. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
sure.
one guy was holding the cell phone in one hand and trying to rake with the other hand. It didn't work very well.
No.
Yeah.
Sarah, as a teacher, what do you think of that idea of just inviting them to make an offering of their cell phones, and every hour we'll say, we're going to have a 5-minute break. You can check your cell phones, get some water, that sort of stuff.
Sarah?
yeah, so hello? Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
We can, yeah.
Legally, you can't take their cell phone. So you can ask them politely, but you can't take it.
Okay, so we can,
So
we can
it's like
suggest it.
Yes, yes.
Well, I think it's an excellent suggestion. And also, we were talking about the fact that we can only usually get about an hour's worth of real work before they need a break. And so
Yeah.
knowing that they're going to get a cell phone during that break might help them,
Mhm. Yep.
We also will have some baked goodies there for them, and snacks and water and stuff, so that those should be something as besides their lunches. Do we want any other activities for them? Do we want them to paint rocks? Do we want them to do anything else, or just take a cell phone break and then get back to work?
Take a cell phone break and get back to work.
Okay.
I was trying to think if there was some particular thing of interest. For example, when we were at the workday the other day, we found some of the hickory nuts, or whatever, walnuts, pig nuts, I call them. And so I showed the kids the nut, and they were sort of intrigued that the squirrel had been chewing on it and stuff. So if there was something like that to point out to the kids, that might be something else you could do to try to have them engaged. And
Okay. I mean, many of the trees in the Arboretum have interesting information about them. The first time that group of the boys that I was working with, I was telling them about a couple of the trees there, and they were very interested in the information about the trees. So you're right. Maybe we can do that. You know, the poisonous yew tree, for instance, was fascinating to them, and the roots that crawl through eyeballs when they're in the graveyard. I mean, these kind of stories were very appealing to these boys.
I bet.
So we could certainly, we could certainly share some of the stories of the trees. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I do too. And I wonder if Julian, when he's there too, like the two of you could join together. And I wonder if it's like, take a 15-minute break every hour, a 5 to 10-minute cell phone snack break, and then just talk about one tree instead of trying to do a tour all at once, just to take in one, go back to work, another break, another tree, another snack, another message on their phone.
I think that's a great idea, Denise. Yeah.
You also email the teacher and say, these are our expectations. Like, our expectation is that their phone is away. Our expectation is that they are working, and that we plan on giving, breaks during the day where they're more than happy to look at their cell phone. But, you should clearly lay out what our expectations are to them. So that way there's no surprise if all of a sudden you're saying they can't have their cell phone, or you would like them not to have their cell phone. You may get less resistance if they know ahead of time what their policy is.
I like that, Sarah. That's a good idea. We could also tell them, since you won't be there to model it, not to come in flip-flops, right? Okay, I think that's a good idea. So expectations, okay. And the expectations would be to check in their cell phone.
So I think your expectation is their cell phones away when they're working. You're gonna get pushback on their cell phones away.
Okay, just okay. Other expectations would be that they would work for about an hour, then take a break, and then work again. Okay.
How about work for like 45 minutes and then the 15-minute break, between the snacks, checking cell phone, and some sharing about the Arboretum and a tree.
Meet a tree.
Yes, meet a tree.
Meet a tree, eat a snack, check your phone. Okay. Come appropriately dressed. They're bringing their lunch. That's about it. That'll be fine. Okay. Any other thoughts about how we should structure this day?
no,
It's a lot shorter than we thought it was, because if they're leaving at 2:30, that's better than leaving at 4, which is what I initially thought. So, the bathroom will be open.
What about the idea, Sarah? I don't know what you think of this, of inviting during each work time one of the kids to use their cell phone to play some music.
I would let
We've lost you. Sarah, it sounds like you're singing. No. Is anybody else hearing Sarah?
No.
she's handing off from one cell to the next as she's driving.
Thank you, John. Okay, we'll we'll have you come back in a minute, Sarah, to respond to Denise's question. I would just assume that they listen to the birds myself, but I guess there are some people who really like to listen to music when they're working.
Yeah.
Unless they're all singing a sea chanty to help them rake in concert or whatever.
Oh, are you a good sea shanty leader, John?
Not on that day, because we have house guests arriving.
Uh-oh. So you will be there or not there? Because you were planning, you said you'd be there in the afternoon. Oh, not the 27th. That's May the 6th, right? Not on the
So like,
27th. Okay. So the 27th
I
will be Sarah. Yes, go ahead.
We lost
Oh.
her.
So Denise,
Yes,
you will be there on the 27th, right?
yes.
And I will be there on the 27th. And they'll have 2 or 3 teachers with them and hopefully Julian. So, okay, that's great.
What time does Tara get here?
And we've lost Sarah.
I'm not sure how long the drive is.
And the day is 10 to 2:30, Philippa?
The day would be 10 to 2:30, yes.
So we could do.
If you had to leave, you know, that should be okay. Here comes Sarah back in again. Yeah. I admitted her. I don't see her yet. Maybe she's in a gray zone or something. Are there gray
And-
zones, John?
And Philippa, I guess we'll touch base before the 27th about the various jobs. I know hoping is planting of some things with Julian being present and that sort of thing, but maybe we could try and,
Oh, yeah, I'll make up a whole list, Denise, and
Okay.
share it with you. But there's wood chips to be pulled, there's weeding to be done where the wood chips go, there's wood chips to dump. There are some big branches that need to be carried out. So there's still a lot of variety of stuff to do, yeah.
I wonder about, just for fun, like putting all the jobs in a hat and each hour having the kids just pick out of a hat, like, okay, here's what I'm gonna be doing. It might mix people up in ways and just
Sure.
add some interest or fun and, pick a different job for the next hour.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea because they do tend to glump.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice to move them around a bit.
Yeah.
Sarah, I can see your picture, but I'm not sure if you're on because I can't hear you. Still not sure if she's on. Okay. We have had a request from a friend of Sarah's to have his wedding, to hold his wedding at the Arboretum. He and she would like to hold, I guess it's a he and she, the two of them would like to have their wedding on October the 7th. They think it will take about 1 or 2 hours around the middle of the day. Sarah suggested that they give a donation of about $100 in order to use the Arboretum. They think there will be about 20 people there. And they wondered if there was anywhere that they could go if it rained. I'm not sure what we could offer them. I don't know. I can check with Jay and see if they would open the Historical Society and let them use the little auditorium if it rained.
What kind of shape is that in?
I'm sorry?
What kind of shape is the auditorium in? I haven't been in there in years.
There's going to be an author is going to be speaking there at the end of this month. So it must be safe enough for people to go into. And I'm going to go and be part of that on the Saturday. I think it's the 29th. And so I'll see. But that would be the only thing I can think of that he wouldn't have to pay for, or that his $100 would cover. You know, that's a building right by the Arboretum, and if it rained, they could go in there.
I think that's checking with Jay would be a good thing to do. The other thing I'm a little bit concerned about with an organized group is insurance. What happens if one of the guests trips and does a header down the bank behind the beech tree?
We're covered by town insurance. So they would sue Woodstock.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is that we did not have students who had applied to Woodstock to work at the Arboretum, and the reason that they were upset about that and we were paying them, was that if anybody got hurt, they would have, the insurance would not have covered them because they had not been hired by the town. They'd been hired by us.
Oh,
So in order for teenagers, for high school kids to work in the Arboretum during the summer, they have to apply to the town hall through that procedure. And then they are covered by the town hall insurance policy.
Hmm.
And any visitor who comes to the Arboretum, I assume, who can fall down the hill is covered by the town's insurance policy. I don't know about, I mean, we've never told anybody who's come to the Arboretum that they couldn't bring a drink with them. They couldn't bring their tea. They couldn't, they can come and sit there and do what they want. The wedding was a 1 or 2 hour small wedding. He didn't seem to say there was going to be lots of dancing or anything else there.
that'd be a challenge. I could dance on the hill.
That's right. Sarah has fallen off the screen again because she was the person who is friendly with this couple and had recommended it. So I need to hear more from her about it. But I just wanted to throw that out, that there is another, we had other people approach us 2 years ago to have a wedding there, and they were going to have it on that little platform where there's a bench that overlooks the whole Arboretum, and they were going to do their vows there. And we got it all spruced up, and we got flowers planted, and we made it all fancy, and then they canceled. So didn't happen.
So
Denise,
about how many people did you say they were about? You said a small group. I didn't get the number.
for the wedding,
Yeah,
about 20, he said,
okay,
or she said.
yeah.
Yeah, about 2 hours, about 20 people. And would that be okay?
Having some experience in weddings, they're very short. I would say it would probably be more on the hour end that people would probably be in and out. I think it's a nice thing as far as people being able to see the Arboretum and get some interest and get some exposure. And, I don't know what the financial situation of this couple is, but think we could even charge $150 and it could be a nice little way to get some extra funds.
Okay. If Sarah ever comes back on again, let's run that by her again, because she's the person who knows this couple, so she would be able to know about their financial situation and what the plan was, and whether this was a rowdy group that was going to be rolling down the hillside or, launching off on parachutes or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Swinging from the trees. I'm not sure. She hopefully, I think, can tell us more about it. I agree. I think it would be nice if we can put photographs of it on our website as a way of encouraging people that this is an option. You can come here and celebrate a wedding or a wedding anniversary or a birthday, or, this is a lovely setting for a small group to gather. I think it would be lovely. Okay. In developing that comment about the water concerns that Julian had, Denise, that you had mentioned,
yeah.
I got the name of the person who built the drainage. I talked to Bill Brower, and apparently it's somebody called David Faust. Do you know him, John or Charlotte? He apparently installed the drainage, and Julian's question had been, what was his intention when he installed that drainage? Because it looks in a way that it bypasses some of those older, higher trees on the hillside, and that the drains take the water away from those trees. And is that true? And why did he do that? And what's the intention? And what can we do about it? In order to get water to that beech tree, which has hoses, we're going to have to link a hose to the hoses in the ground and take it back up to the Historical Society faucet, which is outside in the wall, right up by their entrance. We've got, I think, enough hose, or it's all wound around one of those hose carriers in the shed. But it would be something that we would have to be monitoring through the summer if this turns out to be a very hot, dry summer. because that tree definitely is needing a lot of water. So I don't know who David Faust is, but I'm going to try and follow up with Bill Brower and find out who he is and see if we can have a conversation with him. I don't know if he still lives in Woodstock, if he's in this area. I hope that you guys might have heard of him, but no. Denise, you not heard of David Faust?
No.
I haven't either. So I'll check with Bill about that. And John, I got no contact from the Federated Garden Club person.
So you haven't heard from Nan Marola?
No.
She was all excited.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see her tomorrow. The annual meeting of the Federation is tomorrow. So we'll see her.
Great. Okay. So if you could just
She's, we're in the, this is the time of year we change officers. So
Mhm.
she's stepping up to be the first vice president. And there's a new person, Kelly Rudin, who will be the second vice president and membership chair.
okay.
So and Nan has gotten all involved. We've just started to lease an office. We're hiring a new office administrator. So Nan's been busy with that.
Okay.
But I will see her, and we will see her and Kelly. And so
Okay.
we can certainly find out what their next steps are.
Okay. So, and you clearly indicated that we are interested in doing this.
Yes. Oh,
And-
yes. I've applied, sent the money, the whole
Okay.
bit.
Okay, great. All right, good. So we should be hearing from them.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. Any other thoughts? I want to share a concern that I have. I think that in the summertime, particularly as it gets later in the summer, the Arboretum lacks color. It lacks interest. It tends to be green on green on green, which is okay, but there are certain trees that could make it prettier at that time of year. I'd like us to think about if you have any in your garden, if you see any, if you know of any, that those would be something that might be of interest to try and plant in places where there's some color would be helpful. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm doing a tour in the past, you know, it's always, I wish you'd been here in the spring. I wish you were here earlier in the year. I wish you'd come at the beginning of the summer. You would have seen this in bloom and that in bloom and the other thing in the bloom. And now all they're seeing is the dead blossoms, that the fruits haven't developed yet. And we don't always have tremendously interesting leaves. So it's really a tree that blossoms late in the summer or has beautiful colored leaves would be
When does
nice.
the tree hydrangea bloom?
We do have several hydrangeas in there.
Are
Yeah,
they the bush kind or the tree kind?
well, they're tall bushes. It's the easiest
Well,
way to
don't they bloom at that time of year?
I think many of them are almost not very striking. No, John. They don't seem to appear beautiful.
Yeah, and the magnolias here bloom in the spring
Right.
instead of the
Right.
summer.
Magnolias are blooming right now. I don't know. So if you have anything in your garden or if you see anything, just note it down and see if we can find a space for it. Because I just think
Oh,
that might be
lilacs would bloom later, wouldn't
No,
it? No.
they're about to bloom
nope,
too.
they're early. We do have some Japanese lilacs which bloom a little bit later, but again, towards the end of the summer, they're done. And
Well, we're gonna see Linda Kaplan tomorrow. We can ask her if she has any ideas,
great. And
because
you
her
would-
garden blooms all year round.
terrific. Yeah, anything that she can suggest. And if
Sure.
she has anybody who wants to come and join us on April the 27th when the kids are here,
Mhm.
that would be great also. You
Okay.
had said that she was looking for a date when there were going to be kids working in the gardens.
Right,
So if she has some volunteers, send them on the 27th,
okay,
because you know, having adults, we can then assign a couple of kids to go and weed with knowledgeable adults who can say weed, non-weed, weed, non-weed, you know. that kind of
Yes.
thing. So that would be great if you could ask her. Thank you.
Okay.
Actually, back up to the art in the Arboretum thing.
Mhm.
Elaine Turner may know have kids involved in her art council and the garden club, and they would get brownie points for doing things with kids. So I
Okay.
wonder if there's a connection there. The members of the garden club tend to be older, so I'm not sure there are any
Yeah,
members of the garden club that have middle school age kids. They may
Okay.
have middle age school grandkids, but
So we could have grandkids. Now, Elaine Turner and several of the art guild are supposed to be there on May the 6th.
okay,
They
so
are
she's aware of it.
down to actually paint in like they did before. They're
Okay.
coming down and they're going to be painting. They're going to be mentors and models. I'm just concerned that we're only going to have mentors and models and not going to have any kids coming
Yeah.
down to do the stuff. But Elaine is on board with this. She's already told the art guild that it's on their calendar, and she
Okay.
brought it up at the last meeting, and so she's coming down. So I just somebody had mentioned that Nancy Adams had a daughter who's artistic. I think maybe was it you who mentioned that? Was it you, John, or Charlotte? That Nancy Adams has an artistic daughter, but her daughter.
Linda Kaplan's granddaughter is quite artistic.
Sorry.
Linda Kaplan's granddaughter,
Well,
Charlotte.
maybe
hasn't
that's what you were thinking. Because I talked to Nancy Adams. She said, "No, my daughter's artistic, but she's an art teacher. She's 36 years old, and she teaches art
No.
across in a different."
Linda's granddaughter is about to graduate from the academy.
Oh, then I mixed the names up. So
Yeah.
ask Linda to get her granddaughter stirred up about this.
Can we get a brochure,
Um,
a flyer?
was it flyer? Was it mailed to you? I
No.
can mail you a copy of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I will do that. And I'll do that when we finish this meeting. Okay, Denise, anything on your mind that we haven't talked about?
Let's see. Not that I can think of. I mean, one follow-up from the previous meeting was just about shed keys.
Oh, I have keys for you. Yes.
Okay.
Next time I see you, you will all get your own personal shed. Yes.
Thank you,
Power
Philippa.
of the shed key.
Thank you for the t-shirts and the keys.
Okay. Yeah, there are some perks to being on this committee, you know? The power perk. Yeah, definitely wear your shirts. On May the 6th, wear your shirts. And also on the 27th too. And thank you for wearing your shirt the other day, Denise. You looked great in it.
Oh, sure.
John, Charlotte, anything on your mind that we haven't covered?
No,
No,
Okay, then I suggest we wrap it up. Can I have a motion to have the meeting over?
so moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. It looks like the sun has come out.
Yep,
And
bye.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow in class.
yep.
Bye-bye.
See you then.
Yep, bye.
Bye, Philippa.
Bye-bye, Denise.